You know what I mean? It's dry shampoo all the way through. I'm a vegetable somewhere on some sort of terrible hospital planet. Whatever, I don't know what's going on. Things have been going crazy. And then the cat dies on Monday, right? Here we go. And then I will turn to the chat and we can talk for a little bit. 44 viewers.
That is the cat that CW Channer accuses me of saying that he had sex with, which I never did. He was holding the cat's backside up to the camera, exposing his sphincter, his butthole, to the camera.
Okay, remember you thought it was going to be bad? Oh, and I know you guys were close. And he was such a good cat. He was so good with the girls.
Notice all the glitches.
How were the girls? They handle okay? I'm like, right, I'm so going.
See, the network picked this up 2 years ago. So when you ask how did they know, oh, believe me, they did a full investigation on a lot of people.
It's like getting cancer. None of the other bullshit happening in your life goes away. If you find out that you're being divorced and then you get a diagnosis of cancer, sometimes the divorce doesn't go away. So you're trying to figure out alimony payments and agreements at the mediation while you're also being told that maybe, just maybe, because your lawyer's been down this road before, you should consult with a medical insurance coverage expert, just to see what kind of over-under you're going to need to pay for your own hospital bills as they go inside you and take parts of you out. And she gets everything.
I'm wondering if he's talking about himself or more of this whole cancer witch hunt scare accusation thing. Not sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this. This is what I thought about. I hope this is not anticlimactic. So here we go. So on Monday, my cat dies. And on Tuesday, during conversation with my mom, during 45 minutes of being in a fucking null state, like I was in the shower, I'm just saying, she's talking, and I'm just kind of sitting there going, and I'm somewhere else, but I'm nowhere else, if you catch my drift. She turns to me and we're on the phone, so she doesn't turn to me, but she reminds me gently that we've got plans for Saturday. What are my plans for Saturday, ladies and gentlemen? Well, you won't believe it. Oh, and it keeps on getting worse. I almost totally forgot. So anyway, boom, butt bang my life, one time. Hey, buddy, we don't like you. In fact, we don't like you so much, we're going to threaten you with a lawsuit. Thanks. Butt bang. Oh, hey, buddy, remember those guys that just kind of ruined the day about that terrible news? It's not the same kind of news, but it's kind of similar. So, butt bang. So I'm dealing with that shit. Right? Paying bills, answering the phone myself, trying to talk to people in Espanol. I'm doing.
Hey, Taco, that's because you raped. You tried to rape me. I mean, you actually carried out the motions on your end, but I didn't receive it in or on or around my end.
But I guess I'm the de facto leader of this organization. So march we on into the future. Seriously.
Right.
Toys R Us going bankrupt? Fuck you. On this year, in the tail end of 2017, with all this shit on my plate, you're going to tell me that Toys R Us is going bankrupt, but then it gets worse, ladies and gentlemen. You thought you were going to get us one more piece of bad news, I'm giving you two. So I'm getting butt bad by life. You like that? See what you like that? No, I keep on telling you, I don't like this. Stop it.
Just say no then.
Hey.
Just stop.
Give it back. You know what I mean? I used to keep on asking. You get something out of this? Anyway, whatever.
They got a lot out of you that day.
Fuck back my life. Cat's dead. Great. Fuck back my life. Toys R Us is closing down. This used to be my playground. Hey man, if me crying wasn't a sign of a psychiatric breakdown, I guess me singing Madonna must be. This used to be my playground. That Toys R Us is closed down. Oh my god. Anywho. Then, my mom reminds me that we've got plans for Saturday. Well, sometimes you hear about bad news. Like a toy store going the way of the Titanic or KB. You know what I mean?
Like a corporation.
Things closing down. Well, it's sad. Right. Things are sad. But sometimes things come back. And on Broadway, oh baby, it's back better than ever. We were all surprised and shocked when Cats left and went to Garden Theater. But it's back, ladies and
You
gentlemen.
mean when Elvis
It's
left?
back. The multi-million-dollar musical Cats is back in action
mean
on
Presley
Broadway.
and
Guess who's
Enterprises?
going on Saturday? The dumbass motherfucker whose cat died on Monday. This is gonna be some shit. If you tune into the TV or the news or whatever on Sunday, if you tune on in and people are talking about the latest, greatest false flag conspiracy theory, you know, they say some psycho went buck nutty crazy, took off all his clothes, started jumping up and down about Leonard, claiming that he was Michael Amieros or something before getting arrested by cops. They could tell you that shit was legit. It was a false flag psyop. Everybody knows it.
No wonder Psychic Vampire hasn't been around.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so we're going to go over this now. When you were just talking about having to speak of the Espanol, don't forget your last name is Morales. You've known
Wait,
that
not
for a long
Zavodnik?
time, and I can't believe
Oh, right,
that this is so
Morales.
easy to help you. So
I do
if
remember.
you lose track of all these childhood years, you know, in the earlier segment, and then here you are, someone that knows the dirty truth about these corporations and, you know, how they work and how they scoop the money and then file bankruptcy because, you know, they don't have any money. I can't believe you're crying over Toys R Us closing it, but I do get it, because these are the things that are shattering your reality. And, you know, back to that shattering of reality.
Uh-oh. Well, look at that. We got cut off. Oh, wait, that's for the commercial break they put in. Right? What is going on? Well, here we are in the middle of the phenomena. And I'll tell you what. This dude across the street that just disappeared the minute I turned my head better not be waiting to meet the man. And what is going on here? You see that no matter how many times I click. Alright, let's go back. Okay. And that was supposed to be about 31 minutes. That's a 31-minute video. Let's get the timestamp, because we're at 17 minutes. Let me just pull that up for the evidence. Oh, come on. Don't be so fuzzy-wuzzy, was a bear. Well, you're gonna have to trust me. This whole video is 30 minutes and 50 seconds. We got 1750 on the old clockaroo. So if I go back to right about here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, we were there when we were discussing the condition is conditions in. So tag that here again. Even though I've got my computer back, they're still able to harass me. And I've seen it on YouTube and Facebook. And we knew it was more than Channer and his Goonies. Come on. We're talking about global stuff. Let's make every country proud so we can all stand up and be honest. Knock this shit off. America's got as good a psychics as Russia. Russia's okay with it. We're all fine. And good luck to everybody. You better get some discernment.
That would have been when you were developing your morality and ethics as far as your training in which way you would go with your law practice. What really bothers me too is for a guy that talks about females as badly as you do, and you know it's bad. You talk about making love to your wife as coitus. And I know that's funny because
Sheldon
says
says
that on
that,
Big
right.
Bang Theory, and I think that I think that you just grabbed that up because it's an interesting word. But to not be able to climax, and you were talking about that earlier, I don't know if I've got it on tape or if it's in this 2.5 hour cry for help that you put out. But going back to that, you gotta talk about the 3 different kinds of man or woman. So, okay. When you were seeing Dr. Joe, and your soul was at the forefront, here's what it was asking you. It's asking you if you know why you believe the things that you believe. And if you combine that with your behavior during those years, and you combine it to the idea that in your mind there would be 42 fragments of C.W. Chanter now on the earth, and each year you become more fragmented. See, that sucks, because we know how easy it is for our souls to be stolen, or we traded or whatever. But this whole thing that goes back to spirit too, and this divide, if you naturally have that, which in your case you do, bless your heart, then what you have to look at is the next 2 categories under spirit man, and the next would be animal man. And so, obviously you know what animal man is, and it's just the feed me, fuck me, take care of me, wipe my ass story. I mean, it's gathering and hunting and scraping and fighting, and I know that you know a lot about that because you were never one of the cool kids. See, you were a big fucking dork, which is why you took on the class clown, troublemaker kind of persona, I think, as you went on. And I mean, if you couldn't even hold a girl's hand and tell her why you wanted to get in her pants, why would you expect any different? You gotta ask yourself. So, animal man would be the highest thing that you could attain to, in my experience. Because I've known a lot of different people, like I said. Now, last but not least, there's this vegetable man that you talk about. And when I cut the video on you the last time, you thought vegetable man couldn't stand up. But see, that's not true. Okay, now vegetable man, I got a backside of an envelope here. Vegetable man, their head, which is their consciousness, is underneath the ground. Here, let me cut out of there for a second and stop the share. My bad. Okay, so we're talking about vegetable man. And you could see this would be the ground. Okay? Now, vegetable man's consciousness is buried. Do you get the analogy? And of course, they grow upright like a plant, and their base chakra, hang on, their base chakra is what controls their consciousness. You see the difference? And so it's like a tree, a sapling that wilts with the misdirection of the base energies, which is all tied up in, like, the whole thing with feeling secured and loved and nurtured. And this leads back to the mother. And unfortunately, I'd have to diagnose you with one of those freak shows that has the Oedipus complex. And you know what that is you want to kill your father and, have coitus with your mother. It's very Freudian. It is something that they have ingrained in spiritual human beings to remove some of their chi. You see what I'm saying? Like, you look at all the different ways they drain the energy out of you. This would be one of them. So, I always make a comment, which is true, that the man I laid down with, the father of my children, was in his animal man nature when I met him, surely, and I hadn't studied these things. But more than anything, he really was vegetable man. He has the mentality of a turnip and thinks with his little head, you see. So I would have to put you surely in that category. Now, is there anything else that I would say to you? Oh, okay. The constant references to you getting it in the ass. Whether you believe it or not, you are drawing that reality to you, and if you choose to do that, you cannot mock the very people you defend. And I'm not going to use the name of your friend that wears the makeup, that has a different lifestyle than you. See, he's true and honest, and he admits his
Oh, wow. At least I
nature,
know now why
his
Raksha went off on
fetishes,
me.
his interest, where you hide.
I get it.
Just like right now behind the screen where I'm talking to you. That's your doppelganger. See, when we're talking about the four faces of God, okay, this is what we're going to end on. We're talking about the four faces of God. Now, of course, I've been exploring it in the Presley mystery, which I know that you are mocking and terrified of at the same time. I don't blame you. But let's talk about the first two faces.
I'd be scared of
We
number
would
one
have
if I was an
the old
asshole.
analogy, I know you remember the cartoon, of the angel and the devil that, you know, plays ear war with you. And as you burn out your dross and identify who you really are, you knock one of them off. See, that's the work to be done. But regardless of that, it is not a devil. It is a daemon. And you say, what the hell's a daemon, Suze? Well, a daemon would be the animal spirit, the animal totem. So if you are indigenous, any kind of organic, original tribe type of
And that's
people
why
that are
they
still
call the
connected to their roots,
indigenous
you see.
Lucifer.
Each animal would
Learn something
represent
new every day.
a base nature that you would have to engage with, and that would be your daemon. So if you didn't make peace with your base animal nature at your root, well, then you see it really is a demon. I can still see it, no matter where you try to hide, CW. But the demon is something way more. That's the powers and principalities that y'all are playing with your dark magic rituals. So you should be well aware of the difference, and I know you are, considering that you already work with the Jewish mysticism. You know all these things, but I'm just bringing it to the forefront of your experience and anyone that's curious about the four faces of God. Now, after that, we have the sun. S-O-N, S-U-N, that's self-explanatory. It is nursery school in this conversation. But the last of the four faces would be the doppelganger. So, let's say that you're just a single birth kid, like you know, I don't have a twin. See, you have twin daughters. So, we're just going to talk about a single birth. You're dealing with these four faces.
Unless they stole my mom's embryonic tissue.
Do chose
4 miscarriages, allegedly.
Hidden double secret life, which is indicative to a Piscean nature, and everybody knows it.
Fascinating.
See, I would have done that to make you happy, or to be a chameleon and please whomever I was seeking to manipulate. That's how this works. And I chose not to do that, and I've told that story too.
And that is the God's
But
honest truth. And I
the
know it with
doppelganger,
every bit of my heart
okay?
and
Now, this is the
soul and
person
spirit.
that sends that false ego personality out in the world to do its bidding. And they're only who they really are behind closed doors at home.
Oh,
You
I
see
let
that.
everybody see.
The upright citizen out in the community that in secret is performing those very dark rituals.
The girl they
That
say
would
is
be a
so evil you can't talk to her.
So, that's
Great
my
story.
statement on the four faces of God for now. And back to these twins. The one thing I've learned in the Presley mystery, and mock it if you want, but it is a fact that in 1935, that was the first time that the human zygote was split. And nowadays we know that is something called, in vitro and, all the enhanced methods of helping couples that are barren to have children. So, in the Presley mystery, can you imagine the first year that they were doing the experiment, that they did the whammy to the egg that, would become Elvis Presley. And it was divided into four. Makes sense to me. And
What if he's my brother from another mother?
I pursue
Oh, Lord have mercy.
this avenue of remote viewing.
Don't ask
and
me
work
why.
My,
Don't ask me
Steiner
how.
skills, which would be imagination, inspiration, and intuition. And I've always been highly intuitive.
Oh,
so,
brother.
you see, from the go as a little girl,
Yep.
Mama's game was on. And Mama's got to go now. Got to do a little hair. Got to go to the bank. I lead a real life every day. I service my clients. And I take care of business online.
And I still
So,
have friends, believe it or
rah,
not.
rah. I'd do you a cheer if I thought it would do any damn good.
Fuck no.
But for now, all I can do again is say